Hi, welcome to Currency Podcast. Well, Currency, episode 149. I'm gonna be playing Fall Guys today. And I'm gonna be paranoid at the beginning that what I'm saying is spoken to everybody in the entire game, but I'm pretty sure I disabled it so that won't happen. And, I gotta lay low. I didn't want to show you my face. I didn't get any likes on the last two episodes I posted on Facebook. So, I thought that I would help you guys out. Like, I listened to you, and now here's less of my face. Because, I'm not, like, the prettiest human being. Not that I'm ugly. Sure, I'll go there. I'm ugly. It's just like, you don't necessarily need to see my face up close and personal. But so I'll play Fall Guys, and, I just, oh, goodness. I wanted to speak honestly and openly about some things, which is that when I make this podcast, you guys didn't like the last two episodes, that's fine. I just wanted to mention that, you know, like, you caught me. I do this podcast mostly for the Christian people that I know. Not really for my comedian friends, to be honest with you. It's like, ideally I do it for everybody. It's really more like I do it for the Christian people I know. Even when I say I'm the Antichrist, it's to impress my Christian family and friends, and I really feel like I should stop trying to impress you guys, because it doesn't benefit me a lot. Like, it's unfortunate that I'm still stuck in that world of trying to impress all these Christian people I know, but it is true. That's why it's ultimately why I say I'm the Antichrist. It's for, my Christian family and friends. I don't do it to be like, oh, I'm against you now, that I have this, I'm the Antichrist, so now I'm, better than any of you, or anything like that. Because I already know, I feel like it's already pretty evident that I'm not having wild success doing this podcast. Like, I'm not, it's not the greatest thing ever. I feel like I get beaten up over it for the minimal amount of likes that I get for doing the podcast, like, over and over again. And so I'm trying to say that, like, oh, you figured me out. I actually just do it for the Christian people. I'm still stuck in that world, because saying that I'm the Antichrist is, like, in reality, it's like one of the most Christian things that you could possibly do. Say that you're the Antichrist and actually be sort of serious about it. It doesn't get much more Christian than that. I really should be, like, carrying a Bible around with me wherever I go from now on. And, and the thing is that I would take those episodes down and not tell anybody that I was Antichrist ever again, if it meant that I was, like, losing friendships over it, because the friends I have are more important to me than that. And so this game is being annoying to me. Oh, Christmas Christ. Gracious me. What happened to jumping forward? What happened to diving? You don't get to dive on this level? They changed the rules? What happened to diving? R. What the hell? What, it's X now. Was it always X? Okay, X is a dive. God, I'm already dead. I already lost on this level. So I understand if my comedian friends don't like my content. It's like, unfortunately, I didn't, like, make it for them. I wish that I did. I wish that I didn't spend so much time trying... I really just get caught up trying to please a bunch of Christian people that I know, but... Oh, I want to win at this. I really gotta get some golds. But I hear you when you don't give me any likes on the pop song that I made to tell me. I came to the conclusion that it's, I think that... Ooh, that was a good one right there. Like in the last episode I was talking about, I do this to be famous, and it's really like... What I mean is to be famous for all the people around me. I think that you'd have to be like... more than a sociopath to... that I would make all these episodes, but just for my own bemusement, you know? You think like... I mean, I do this for the likes, but if nobody's liking it, that's not, one of the things that I have most consistently been told about, like, why people like me is, like, people like when I sing, they like that I'm good at singing. That's what they've told me before. And, it's whatever. It's circumstantial that nobody likes the Facebook posts I make when I put out the songs that I do. It's circumstantial, like... It's not like everybody... Some people might have listened to it and they didn't go back to like the song, even if they did like it, but I don't say I'm the Antichrist because I'm like, oh, I found this thing, or even that's the story, or whatever. It's really just part of the unfolding story I'm telling you. Like, it would be really shallow of me if I was like, oh, I found this thing, I'm the Antichrist, and that's what I am, or if there was nothing behind it. It's just like part of the story that is already unfolding in my life. And when I was in the church, I embraced the idea of radically transforming myself in order to align myself with the values of following Christ. And now that I'm outside of the church, I'm still trying to do that, just in a different way. Or I'm still trying to be a part of the church, and it's just something that I end up doing, but I need to stop trying to please all these Christian people because they don't like it, and they've given me... It's like, I feel like it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and I'm Charlie, and I have to say the thing that'll make people like me, like say the thing that'll give me the Chocolate Factory, but I'm just saying everything except for that. And like the time has come that I become Willy Wonka, because where I tell all these people, like, you stole fizzy lifting drinks, you know, there's just something like, there's something really profound about that principle at whatever is being spoken at the end of that movie, because Willy Wonka comes up with this bullshit to lie to Charlie and his grandpa that, like, it's something they did, but he's lying to them about, like, that's the reason why I don't like you still. I feel like that is sort of like my situation, is that the people I know, it's like they're waiting on me to say the right thing, and through the course of my life, not just now, not just after the fact when I'm not Christian anymore. I just feel like during the course of my life, I'm always trying to please them. I'm really a people pleaser. And I make all this content on here to be, like, honest and open, and, like, be somebody that you can blame for things, like, say things weird enough, like, that you have me around to blame things on, or say, like, that guy is... At least we can tell that guy's failing. He thinks he's the Antichrist. Because I'm you know, but if you don't respond to it in any way, I don't know that you like it. And so I should stop being so giving. And what I'm saying is that I'm a good singer. The same as when people are they catch a criminal and they try to make them sing. Like, I'll tell the truth. I'll be honest about things. And I thought that you wanted me to sing. But I guess that you don't, because when I make a pop song and sing over it, thank you for liking my Facebook Reels, people that did. I had a lyric for a song that I was making, and Sabrina Carpenter stole it from me. She said, "I'm a singer." And my line was better than hers. She just wasted it on, "I'm a singer." My line was, since I'm a singer, all of this is serious. I don't come to you in maybes, just the utmost confidence. Because every song that you hear on the radio, everybody has to be like entirely confident about all of it. It's never a maybe. It's always like, I'm definitely the one. I deserve to sing this song. Like, that's what makes you a singer according to today's radio. And she just wasted the popularizing singer because I was about to popularize it for the entire nation, of course, But like, so she deserves it, right? Because she already made a bunch of songs prior to that, so it's like, it's not something I would be mad about. I do want to mention that she's fake as hell, because her or Katy Perry, Katy Perry or her are both really fake, and so when it's a bad idea to put them in an acoustic environment. Like, there's a Tiny Desk concert that with Sabrina Carpenter, apparently she took that gig, and it's the worst idea ever for Tiny Desk concerts to have Sabrina Carpenter, because her songs are because she's totally fake. It needs to be like, it has to be a lot bigger, all the music and sounds surrounding her, in order for it to work for her. Because like Chapel Roan is has reasons for doing things. Sabrina Carpenter is just kind of like a poster. She's just like a 2D image. She's just like somebody that looks at you, and nothing too much more going on behind it. But it's, for some people, it like works extremely well that way. Like, Katy Perry is pretty fake, but it caused her to have an amazing career. It's just that West Coast is fake and East Coast is real. I know that like Chapel Roan is both. She is maybe more West Coast, even though like she's real. Sabrina Carpenter is fake. Same as Lady Gaga is real. Katy Perry is fake. Lady Gaga is from the East Coast. But I mean, Chapel Roan is from the East Coast originally, I believe. And Nas is from the East Coast. He is real. And Tupac is from the West Coast, and he's fake. And Biggie Smalls is from the East Coast, and he's real. Their music is real. And I have to press X to dive. I need to remember. There's X to dive, or double A. Yeah, I didn't get any likes on my pop song, and I came to the conclusion that it's because I said I'm the Antichrist. And this podcast is, it's just, the thing is, and so I would get why Christian people would be miffed at that. You wouldn't be like, oh, you're doing this because you like us. I do it for you, ultimately. I can't quite explain why, but like, I'm not in the business of making the joke. It's not about like, I'm angry. I'm not in the business of making that joke, of saying that I'm bitter or that I'm angry. I find that to be entirely nauseating, because that joke is really overused. The joke of like, no, I'm not bitter, but I am. You can tell just by the way I'm communicating it. I wouldn't make that joke. I wouldn't joke about that I'm angry or that I'm bitter because that joke isn't funny. Those topics aren't funny. It's not funny to tell somebody that you're angry. Doesn't work. People don't want to hear that. I'm not. I just joke really hard about. I'm just in a about this belief system that I don't believe in. I joke really hard about labels of things, I think is what the case is. Once I stopped making this podcast for a while, and then a lot of Christian people I know started to get angry at me, and I felt like that was proof that you cared about this podcast. Even though might have been wrong about whatever you're angry, it just seemed like a lot of people I know, once I stopped doing this podcast, you decided that I'm a failure. You need to criticize me back into the fold because the podcast idea I had wasn't working out. I feel like you just want everything I do to not be working out for me. Like you want me to be sick. You want me to be the guy that doesn't get likes for being this. And so, like, I don't know, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go back into the podcast and do it even harder to prove to them that I wasn't going on a hiatus just because I ran out of ideas or whatever. So, like, I feel like it's like I'm trying to prove shit to you. I'm trying to impress you. But none of you like it. You just want me to be the very simple guy who goes to church, and that I don't like that person. Like, he was kind of a faker in order to abide by the rules of the environment. And to what extent, I'd be happy to explain that to you. That's part of the unfolding story I'm telling you. It's not like, the story isn't just I'm the Antichrist, but I save the story because I'm a conservative. Naturally. I voted for Donald Trump. Let me admit this to you. I voted for him in all 3 elections. So, I mean, like, that proves that I'm, like, on the winning side. I don't feel good admitting that. Because it's like, every time there's a presidency, I'm voting for Trump. Like I worship him. Like, I'm one of the people that, like, I'm a MAGA. That almost makes you a MAGA if you vote for him all 3 times. I don't want to be that, but I mean, I'm not. I think that I'm pretty like, transgender people. I think are fine. I like it. I like transgender people should not get the hate that they do. I think that's the new. Whenever this swings back and we're liberal again, transgender people are gonna get their day in the sun the same way that gay people did, like under the Obama administration. It's the future. I love it, and pretty soon I'm gonna be one, and but not. No, I'm not. But, like, Lady Gaga and the Killers, those are liberals. A lot of bands are liberals like that, where the music, the best part of their career is right at the beginning. That's what a liberal does. Liberal acts, or a liberal anything in the world, person, or what TV show, give you all of the good stuff right at the beginning because they're generous, because they're not conservatives that are being secretive about it and saving up some sort of story. I am unfortunately very, like, conservative, so I'm on that story side of things, and the story side of things is, like, worse. It's campier and it's dorkier, I would say, if you're like, oh, my life is about the story, but it's like that's a lot of people are about the story. Lady Gaga, all of her best music happened right at the beginning of her career. You could say, like, it got worse from there. It's not really that. It's just that the shit at the beginning was so good, it was really hard to beat. But that's like a liberal thing. It doesn't turn out bad for her or for the Killers that their first album was the greatest thing they made, because everybody loved it for forever, for years and years afterward. It's just that they are liberals. They gave you all the best stuff right up front because they're generous about it, that they shared it. And I'm not so much like that, but it's like Theo Von is part of the story people. He's a conservative. Most people wouldn't point that out. He's maybe a hyper conservative because his theme song is "I'll sit and tell you my story." So he's all about the story. That's what he's sharing. And so like what is the so it's secretive, and he's giving you pieces of it as he goes along. And that's in contrast to like Joe Rogan, who is a liberal, I would say. Joe Rogan's a liberal. His podcast, the shit he shares, I mean, he's both, and that's why he has continued success into his older years, is a more conservative way of distributing his talent or whatever, is like being continually famous as you get older is probably more conservative. But I know that he supports Donald Trump now, so you'd be like, oh, he is a conservative. I wouldn't say that it's that. It's like conservatives. He's a conservative now because the conservatives today are the progressives. They are the liberals. That's why he joins the Conservative Party. That's why the liberals are losing, is because they're not being progressive. The people who want progress, a number of them jump ship to the Conservative Party because the only way that we can practically obtain progress is if we dismantle government in today. And the conservatives are the ones willing to do that. The liberals just want government to be bigger. They want everybody to be a government employee. That is totally a step in the wrong direction. That's not progress. The only way we have progress in America, practically speaking, is if we slash government as much as possible, which conservatives, thankfully, are trying to do. That's progress in the world, actually. The liberals think progress is like convince everybody that men are equal to women. Convince everybody that a man is the same thing as a woman, which is totally impractical. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, let's force the opposite of biology on everybody. This idea, let's brainwash people with that, and it's very ugly. And like, we don't know what that's about. We're like, oh, like, why does that need to be instilled in all of us? But like, Joe Rogan's like a progressive. His thing is not about a story. He just kind of shares all of it up front. He's just like, I'm an ape. And he's basically just a nice guy. There isn't much more to it than that. And people like Anthony Jeselnik come out and they're like, if you listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, you're an idiot. And he is critical of Joe Rogan and Tony Hinchcliffe and the Austin, Texas scene for some reason. I think that he just has a bad attitude, or he's running out of things to say or something. Like, if he's becoming, that's kind of like becoming a Jimmy Kimmel. He's becoming like a Jimmy Kimmel, somebody who is just a hater. Like, it's weird how many people end up just, they become haters. Like, what's the reason for that? Like, Donald Trump captures a certain percentage of the nation just with his example in life. Because, I'm just trying to remember all the things that I want to say. Like, he captures a certain percentage of all the people. Donald Trump does, like Trump derangement syndrome, the people that fall into that category, like Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, people that can't stop talking about Trump. You can make these people aware, like make Jimmy Kimmel aware of. I guess I just gotta jump off at that point. What is going on? Why am I stuck? I gotta jump onto these cups. I'm stuck talking as much as I'm stuck, whatever, with my character on the screen right now. I haven't said anything of value in, like, an entire minute. And, Donald Trump, people have Trump derangement syndrome. You can alert Jimmy Kimmel to that. All you talk about is Trump. You just hate him all the time, and he still can't stop saying, I hate Trump. Like, that's all that they got. Because for some reason, there's a lot of people that it's like the way they were raised, the belief system instilled in them is contrary to, like, that somebody like Donald Trump would be successful. Like, they can't accept that an example in life of somebody like Trump being that successful. They're like, that's impossible for them to believe. It's against their ideology, so much their identity, that they have to be like, this guy needs to be destroyed. It kind of just like ruins them. Trump captures a certain percentage of the nation for like this for some reason. I forget quite why I went into that. Or like Anthony Jeselnik is becoming this for Rogan. Apparently he's a hater. That's what haters are. That's what critics are. People who just at some point they get felled by criticism of one person. They can't stop. When somebody can't stop talking about a single thing that they feel criticizes them, that's when they become a hater and really a fraud and really a critic. Critics are frauds. The people that aren't frauds are the people that are original, that keep making things in lieu of falling into like being identified with Trump derangement syndrome, like falling into that, dying, basically being defined by like, all you are is a Trump hater. That's what kills you, makes you a fraud, makes you a critic. So it's sad to see this is starting to happen in Jeselnik's life. Like, this is the point at which a lot of us can look at him and be like, oh, you are becoming a fraud now. Like, your run is over. When you start becoming a hater, like, so it's weird that people can't see around that he wouldn't be able to see, like, well, this just makes me a hater. And that is what it is. He has Rogan derangement syndrome, apparently. And I honestly think that you're an idiot if you are somebody who needs to say that Joe Rogan sucks, like, if you're a hater like that. If you go out of your way to hate it. I can understand, like, disagreeing with his philosophy and that he does it. But, like, having that take or, like, needing to talk about it, like, Joe Rogan sucks. Like, I hate what he's doing. It's, like, really... I mean, I don't know what it is that people wouldn't like about them. That's why I think that you're an idiot. You're an idiot to hate him because he's just kind of a nice guy. And that's it. He's just somebody who tried. He's just somebody who was successful in the game of life. Like, there's nothing to hate. So I think you're kind of... I don't know. I think it makes you kind of an idiot to hate him. And, yeah, that's somebody who is... He's somebody who's, like, a nice guy. Like, he just seems like a dad that you see in your neighborhood that every time you see him... he's really friendly, and then behind closed doors, he's also just really nice to his family as well. It's just like, I can't say enough good things about him. I'm the opposite. I'm a not hater, and that defines me. That will kill me. Loving Trump too much. I don't think that kills you ever. Loving somebody, well, sort of, yeah. Loving somebody too much, does that kill you? Does that make you a critic in any way? Yeah, I think that a similar thing happens to you if you love it too much. Well, yeah, like getting addicted to caffeine. Getting addicted to a drug that kills you is a better example. But how about, but like Theo Von is a conservative, it's about the story for him. And so like, you fall into one of those camps, and it's campier to be story-driven. That's what is campy. Story-driven behavior. Where it's like, it's about the way that we all fall in love with you. That's campy. We admire admiration, not necessarily campy, but maybe a little. The way that we all fall in love with Theo Von, like his story at the end of the day is kind of like he was addicted to cocaine and he got over it. Also, he's exposing Louisiana to be a wild sort of place. He's exposing Louisiana to be a cult as well. That's like the secrets of Louisiana. He is, that's a big part of his identity, what he has to share that nobody else was articulating before. That's part of the value that he provides. And I mean, I guess I feel like I could do a similar thing for Wisconsin, but what I'm saying is Wisconsin is maybe the cultiest state in the nation. It might be, but what I'm saying is I'm a conservative. I'm about the story, so that's why I say like I think I say I'm the Antichrist, or like the Christianity, like I can't escape from it. I think maybe it's just like become time that I become a liberal and I don't make it about the story anymore. I shouldn't be like I'm the Antichrist, you know. I consider taking the episodes down because if it's just like these people think that they're against me. I don't need the Antichrist in order to win. I mean, I wouldn't anyway, because I'm not successful now. I'm not famous now as it. So you know that I would have to be like out of my mind to think that like that gives me the win. Like I'm very much experiencing not lots of success for the things. I mean, I appreciate the success I have, the views I have, the listens I have. I do. I love it. I love the views, and thank you, my audience. But like, the story is. That's why, like, I want the best story, you know, and I want to win at the game of stories. That's what Theo Von has entered into. Joe Rogan's not really in that game necessarily because he's just sharing. It's all just there. He's just like has a conversation and says all of it. Theo Von, you recognize, has more to hide than Joe Rogan. But it's I think that there's a similar thing can be said about criticism as to Trump derangement syndrome. I think that some people have a thing called criticism derangement syndrome, where they're captured by criticism. I make an episode I made called Criticism. Maybe you saw it. Where I was just like talking about criticism. I was being kind of harsh. I know I get on here and it's like that episode is negative. Okay, but it's about criticism. So it's the same as like the Antichrist and anti-Christianity. It does come across as negative. I could see where you'd be like, we are not voting for this negativity. But some ideas are negative. Not everything is a smile. And the point of me making all these episodes is like I'm letting an idea inhabit me for the hour. It's kind of like I'm interviewing an idea, and some ideas are like negative. Like being the Antichrist is something you can't waffle on, so I had to commit to that and sell it. Be a person that's like doing everything to as if like this is what you would say if you were trying to be the Antichrist. So I'm letting the idea inhabit me for the video. And the songs I make are fine. I'm not like, I know I'm on here like, thanks for liking my reels, the people that did. People have criticism derangement syndrome. They get captured by criticism. I appear as critical because I have to beat the criticizers. I'm not totally immune from their group. Nobody is. Nobody is immune from criticism group. Criticism is like a meme that I'm just thinking like I wonder if the things I said are already if they turn people off too much, they wouldn't be listening to this point. Okay, I just let some negative thoughts into my head about things. And it's hopefully not like that. And so I have to be above the criticizers. Criticism is I need to do more for the comedy community that they would like me. I'm not doing enough. And so like it makes sense that they wouldn't like it. My comedian friends. But like there's the group of people who criticize. It affects literally everybody in the world. It's just like, oh, you don't want to say something so embarrassing that you become a meme. You don't have to worry about that because everybody is already criticizing everyone all the time, constantly. Me and my roommates my one roommate has 2 cats, and me and my roommates keep using the cats to talk shit to each other, and it is funny. We can't stop using the cats to talk shit to each other. Like, it on accident, we're always like, you know, through the cat. We're like talking about the cat, but meaning somebody else. And everybody's talking shit to each other all the time. We live in a really critical world. I would say it is a conservative world. Conservative world is a more critical one because it's internal. And intentional is another way. It's another thing it gets close to being when it's like internal like that. Intense. And that's something that people describe me as. Intense. It has to do with intentionalness. It has to do with my intentions. Like, maybe I have too many intentions, but it's like an internal conservative kind of behavior. I'm very self-critical. I'm very critical of myself. I'm very self-critical, critical of myself, too. Well, I mean, I'm also, I don't know, I can't really, can't be funny right now. I'm not being very funny. Just being serious. Like a singer would be. Oh, what did I do? I'm gonna get back into this Fall Guys game. The group of people that criticize, that's like everybody. It's more, I feel like there's a community of criticizers, people that especially like it and especially are captured by it, where they can't stop talking in criticism to each other. Same as there's a group of people who love memes that can't stop communicating to each other in memes, sharing them, and they like it very much. Memes, that community, that cult following is a lot funnier than criticizers. I go wrong when I say Christians are criticizers. I shouldn't say that. That's too critical. It's criticizers that are criticizers. There's plenty of Christians that aren't into that. And myself, I'm not somebody who's into criticism, and that makes it that I just respond to it in any sort of way, or I don't really care. I need to think more about the way that my responses to criticism appear to other people. But I am maybe choosing to be dumb about it, and it's dumb of me, I realize, because I want it to be that the way you respond to criticism doesn't matter, because it doesn't in real life. As for people who don't care about it, I could have responded to criticism in 1,000 different ways, whether they be a way that made me look offended, or like a way that ended up making me look offended, or a way that it looked like it was rolling off of me. Both of those are the same in my head. Like, ultimately, because of how little I care about criticism, I'm like, it doesn't matter the way you respond to it. It's almost like, and I vote for that, or like I want people to agree with me and live like that as well. So I'm pretty ruthless in my lack of caring about responses to criticism, to the point that people think that I'm a bitch a lot of the time, because a lot of people are beholden to criticism like that, and they swear by its ability to reveal people's character. So they think if somebody is responding to criticism in a way that makes them look offended, that they are definitely offended, because people are afraid of criticism like that. They're like, oh, you have to always honor criticism and not make it look like you're being captured by it. You have to honor it, you have to respect criticism like that. Because there's a lot of people, percentage of the nation, that have criticism derangement syndrome. They're entirely captured by criticism. And it's because, like, they're afraid of it. They're too afraid of it to be able to articulate themselves out of it. Just talk their way out of it. They're too defined by criticism. And so I will confront people in the comment section. I will confront them with whatever response I want, because I don't really care about the way that it looks, but you know that I don't care, because it's the things that I confront that I don't care about. The things that I confront are what I'm not afraid of. those are the things that people confront. Is like, I don't care about it. That's why I'm confronting it. I'm not, and it's just like the way you respond to criticism in real life doesn't matter at all because it's just this specific drama that a specific group of people really likes. It's not like some people swear to that it is the greatest ever because they're like, I love to dish it out and take it. I can throw it right back, and they revel in the ability to do that. But like in real life, this isn't a job interview like the comment section, and mostly any job wouldn't look to the way you responded in a comment section in order to determine if they should hire you. So unless I said something really fucking crazy. Like, this isn't a job interview. It's some bullshit thing, like, that anybody would care. I'm just saying, I mention that because I see how people could write me off, or they wouldn't like it, because I don't believe in criticism's ability to reveal character. I don't really like engaging in it. I just think that it's kind of negative. But I do engage in it to criticize criticizers, to make an episode about criticism. Like I do that because I'm outside of it enough to be able to speak to it objectively, see criticism as an object, but that doesn't mean I can't be felled by it. That's what's intimidating about the criticism group. They can catch you at any time if they find something that you are endlessly criticized for. The criticizers, but the world is critical. Like, the world is the meme that we are afraid of being captured by. Everybody's already living in that because, like, you're getting made fun of for the shit all the time. It's just like, don't become reduced to one thing, like the people who have Trump derangement syndrome. But what I'm saying is that basically everybody doesn't realize the extent to which the extent that criticism has power over people's lives. People underestimate the power of criticism. And they do because they're unable to speak to it. Because people grow up, and when they're adults, they're more, in a lot of cases, more afraid of criticism than when they were kids. And it gets to the point where they're like so afraid that there's just like a lot of things that they won't say. Especially not objecting to criticism. There's a lot of people that operate by the way they're expected to, like, act like automatons in response to criticism. Like, oh, we're all supposed to not care about jokes that are thrown our way. It's just like people will kind of treat you like you're crazy sometimes if you object to criticism. Like, I would go back and like saying that I'm the Antichrist if it meant that people, if that's what would impress you, then I wouldn't say that. What else I want to say about Sabrina Carpenter? I feel like there's something else. Just that she's really fake. That's a community, the community of criticizers, but that one is bigger. That one is just like more affecting all of us all the time. And I think it does maybe benefit people to hear that you don't have to live in criticism. But people kind of like treat it like that's what makes them safe. That's their belief system, is that none of us are going to object. Because if you just say like, somebody criticizes you and then you get offended, I feel like in general the world is going to attack you more. That's the way that it is. Is that the world, or is that just like some people are like that? I think that a lot of times people will respond to you with more criticism if you show that. Yeah, they respond to you with more criticism if you show it looks like you're offended by it, which is kind of mean. Because if somebody's like, oh, I don't like that, and then you're just like, no, yeah, well, you're going to get more of it. Those are the people that love criticism. And because all of us understand that that's the way that life is supposed to be. Like, make sure that bitch pays for that they didn't let that joke roll off of them. And people are like, we found a bitch. There's a bitch over here. And they just start all attacking, like mob mentality. If somebody is not letting themselves be criticized the right way. I mean, responding in a specific way to the criticism, because people are like, that is our God. You do not disrespect criticism. And so what am I saying, like, oh, people shouldn't do that because it's mean? Not really. I get it. Like, you should go, if people want to be criticized, if it turns out that they are felled by criticism, by all means, keep criticizing them. I love that mean life. Not really. I mean, I don't know. I'm okay with meanness, that people are mean. I'm not really into it that much, though. I ain't into that. So, that's some of the harshest criticism I've received in my life. Whether or not anybody meant it to be like that, or you're just like, we're gonna ignore this guy for a while to not like my songs. When I felt like the thing that people actually like about me is that I'm good at singing. Nobody's ever been like, we love you because of the podcast you make. Why do you love me? There's so many ways to love me. Now you're not going to click on the episode. I'm going to title it Singer, and you're going to be like, oh, he's going to be singing the entire time, and he's going to be thinking that he's funny, and we hate that already. I don't know. Like, I titled the last one Original, and I'm like, well, people aren't going to click on that, because, like, who wants to hear from a guy claiming originality? You're supposed to hate that, you know? Which is why I do it. I mentioned at the very end of the episode, like, that's embarrassing to say, like, original, and, like, I'm saying that about myself, but it's actually transcendent. As long as nobody's claiming originality, I guess I'll take that, too, because it's actually because I said I said original things throughout the episode. I believe that's what I was trying to do. Not that I was trying to do it. I didn't even know I was talking about originality when I began the hour, but somebody who's really original is like the first person to claim I am original, because nobody says that because it's socially bad to do. But for somebody to be like, I'm original, and then actually be able to back it up by, like, I did say original things at the time, that's actual originality. I mean, that's original. Because nobody does that. And it's not about the little jokes I make on this podcast. They're, Baby, Let Me Love You Down. There's so many ways to love ya. That's why I choose down every time. That's why I say that's why I want to love you down, because there's so many ways to love you. But this one that I keep doing. I'll be funnier eventually in the future. This just isn't a funny episode. But it's not about the little jokes and the facial expressions I make. I could see you watch this podcast, you're like, and it's not about the people didn't like the episodes I made after saying I was saying Antichrist either, but I could see where you're like, that guy's just, it's all just self-indulgent, and that guy thinks he's so funny and whatever. It's not about the little jokes I make. I think really ultimately it's about impressing the people that are closest to me, because I love them. It would just be a horrible existence for me if I was like about the jokes, or even just about, if I was saying like, ha, look, now I'm the Antichrist. Like, if it was about that joke too, would be a horrible existence. If it was about any one of the things I said, how nightmarish, how fraudulent, when it's like would be definable like that. It would be definable like that if I really just cared about one thing, because you're a fraud if you. I'm a little bit, I'm a little obsessed with criticism, but at a larger scope, just the entire thing. So, and I do that to show that I'm beating the criticizers as long as I'm playing their game, which everybody is. The best way to win that game of criticism is to view it at the largest scope possible. Like I'm not obsessed with any one thing that I'm being criticized for. I don't believe there are places and times where it comes close to that for me. I don't like dependence because that really the harsh criticism of not getting likes, which is I would say is criticism. It makes me wrong. Like I'm not in the right to have received that. I know that I probably got on here and I'm go into like why I'm right. I apologize. This is it's not funny what has occurred. I don't find that joke very funny when people don't like the content. That's not funny to me at all. I feel bad. I feel remorseful. I feel like things need to change. The Christian church kind of captures me. That's where I am deranged. That's where I'm deranged. And I need to stop being deranged by the church. If there's anything that deranges me, it's kind of just like criticism in general deranges me, but I thought that you did like it when I made a song. People that I know. I guess not. The song I made called Obvious is, I took forever to make it. It used to be a different song that I was calling Reason, and it was much worse, and I took like 2 years to try to fix that song before understanding that I didn't like it enough to be able to release it, and that's because I didn't like the theme, because the theme Reason, I guess, was not a pop song enough that I could make it one that sounded appealing. And as I began to realize what song I was actually trying to make, I realized I was talking about obviosity. And once I end that, the idea of making a song that pop music is about making something that sounds obvious, it sounds visible. And I wanted to make a song that, I don't know, this is the like MTV Unplugged for people that aren't all that famous. I should do that more for other people. I should have other people on that write songs that nobody likes. I have other ideas that I haven't even put out there that I can put out in the future that also won't get likes too. I have other ideas that won't get likes that I'm excited to share with you. I have plenty of content that could possibly not get a like, but I do like the likes. I wanted to make a song that sounds visible. That's what I wanted to say. And that's only something that I was able to describe it as after the fact, not like while I was making it. Like what I want to do is make a song that sounds visible. That's what obviosity. That's the aspect of obviosity I'm talking about, is the visible one, which really is, it's a tragedy that obviosity gets resigned to this sarcastic life, where people are like, oh yeah, that's obvious. It's obvious. We already know that. This like hateful, negative thing. Obviosity is so positive. It's just about like the thing that you see. It's just about visibility. That's how obvious it is. I wanted to write melodies that are like, this is a melody. No, not this. That's not actually how it worked, because that's not the one I sung. The instrumental melodies are like that. The one I sung is just kind of like, it went over what was already there as best I could. Thank you, and much love to those that I love, and to those that I'm trying to be attractive to otherwise. I am a people pleaser, and I will love you too eventually. Heart versus head. I might be more of a person who is from the heart, the story person. No, like conservatives are from the heart. No, they ain't. I'm a head guy, for sure. That's how gay that I am. You know I'm gay because I'm a head guy. Much love to y'all. Bye.